So we are going to begin on page 142 with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Shalom, Shalom. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Shalom, Shalom. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu. Barechuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Shalom, Shalom. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Shalom, Shalom. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to the Reformed Temple of Forest Hills. I'm Rabbi Mark Kaiserman along with Cantor Emily Weigott-Pincus. We're delighted to celebrate Shabbat together, a time that we all need to take a break from wherever we've been this past week and wherever we're going this week ahead and find this moment of peace with each other. This Shabbat is extra special because on it we are going to celebrate the Bat Mitzvah of Noah Spivak. And we're delighted tonight as a community and tomorrow, along with her family and friends, many of whom are here this evening, celebrating with her and her family. And so as we begin our service, bringing light into our community with the Shabbat candles, we invite up Noah and her parents, Michael and Alana. Page 121, using the page numbers in the brackets.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik
של שבת.
The Kiddush is on page 123. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ahavu ratzon v'ninkilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'bereishit. Kihu Yom Tefilah L'Mikra'ei Kodesh Zecher B'Tziat Mitzrayim Kivanu V'Ahavta Ve'otanu Kidashta Mikol Ha'amim V'Shat Kodshecha Me'ahava Uratzon Kinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim. We take an opportunity to see who's around us and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Find somebody you don't know, find out who they are, and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Please be seated. Page 124 in the brackets. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Together, now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi on page 138 as we join in verses 1, 2, and then rise for verse 9.
Lecha Dodi לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Page 146, the Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו. אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. We invite back up to the bima our bat mitzvah Noah as we continue with the V'ahavta on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem, amen. Page 157. We read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 160.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, וחמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, וחמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתך ביתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום וחמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום וחמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום וחמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
We turn to the Tefillah, beginning on page 164, using the even-numbered pages only. Please rise.
Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, Elion, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Kolei Hakol, לאמהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני Ha'el HaKadosh.
Together, you are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Page 175. We read together. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. A prayer for peace, page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha livarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom.
We continue with our own personal private prayers.
A nigun that comes from the Hasidic community of the Ukraine, which we sing most Shabbatot in support. Many of you may know this as Ki Hine Kachomer. Yai lai 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 lai, ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, ya la lai 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 lai. Yai la la lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, ya la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, ya la lai 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 lai. Yai la la lai, lai yai lai lai lai. Yai lai lai, ya la lai 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 lai. Yai la la lai lai, yai lai lai lai.
Turn now to Seder Kriyat Torah, as we share our Torah reading this Friday night as part of our Shabbat service. And we invite to join us up on the Bima, Maya Wasco and Jenna Weiss, page 364. Please rise.
Ki mitzion teitei Torah, ki mitzion teitei Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'avo Yisrael b'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shmo, Gadol Adonai Hiti, U'nivrom b'ma Shemo Yachtav. Lecha Adonai hakiduna v'hakivura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol v'shamayim u'va'aretz, ki chol v'shamayim u'va'aretz, lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'yamid na'aseh lechol lirosh. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtakavu le'ar kodsho. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtakavu le'ar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtakavu le'ar kodsho. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtakavu le'ar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu. Yai lai lai, yarai lai, yalalai, yalalai lai, yai lai lai, yai.
Please be seated. We conclude the book of Exodus with tonight's Torah reading from Vayakhel Pekudei, and we're invited to get a sneak peek of Noah chanting much more of this portion tomorrow as we invite Noah Spivak back up onto the Bima. She'll be chanting from the book of Exodus, chapter 35, beginning in verse 1, the beginning of Parshat Vayakhel. If you'd like to follow along in the Hebrew or the English, you can do so in the large Torah commentaries that are under the seats in front of you on page 612. And for our Aliyah tonight, we're honored to invite up Aaron Levinson.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu michol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai notain ham Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayakel Moshe et kol adat b'nei Yisrael vayomer alehem ele hadvarim asher tziva Adonai lasot otam sheshet yamim ta'asa melacha uvayom hashavi yihye lachem Kodesh Shabbat Shabbaton Ladonai Kol Ha'osevo Melecha Yumat Lo Tivaru Ish B'chol Moshevotechem B'yom HaShabbat.
Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Lots of tough.
With the Torah out in front of us, we take time for a special prayer of healing and hope for all those who are sick or ill, those in pain of body and mind and soul. We think of people we hold on to very much in our hearts and commit ourselves to how we can bring healing to them individually into their lives. On this Shabbat, we're especially thinking of Elaine Wall, Joan Lipton, Arlene Green, Roberta Traeger, Jody Ann Herman, Rochelle Weinberg, Don Levy, Larry Bloom, Arnold Gilbert, Barbara Gilbert, Jane Levy, Brenda Levinson, Debbie Ball, Jody Harkavy, Lauren Nagel-Krosny, Mercedes Schwartz, Scott Scheidlauer, Neil Manis, Mark Katz, Hayden Lofgraben, Renee Weisbaum, Emma Margaret Krieger, Joanna Rivera. And we add names that we're each thinking of. If there's someone in particular on your mind, we invite you to share their name out loud here in the congregation. And for those of you joining us on our live stream, we invite you to put their name into the chat so that all can see and think of each person that we bring healing to. For each person we've named out loud, for each person we hold in our heart. Oh. We join together in a prayer of healing. The Mishaberach for healing in the middle of page 371.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor HaBeracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor haberacha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
As we lift and dress the Torah, we invite Phyllis Rosenberg to join us on the bima. Please rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יא לה לי לי יאי לי לי יא לה לי.
Page 374.
עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם.
Please be seated. In 2010, writer Dan Savage and his husband Terry Miller started the It Gets Better campaign. It was designed to encourage struggling LGBTQ plus teens to look forward to a better life when they got older. It gets better, they told them, and it does. So we hope whenever we encounter hatred, discrimination, selfishness, bullying, cruelty, we hope that what we struggle with right now will get better tomorrow. The foolishness and nastiness of today will somehow evolve into something more open and accepting tomorrow. Yet in 2023, in the United States, books are being banned, trans kids are being censured, drag queens are being scapegoated, hatred is becoming normalized, women are made criminals in caring for their own selves. Will it get better? Not if we watch from the sidelines or the comfort from another state. We make it better. We see something similar happening in Israel today, too. For years, the Reform movement has worked alongside our progressive partners to make change. Led by the Israeli Religious Action Center, IRAC, we've seen incredible successes on the legitimacy of non-Orthodox rabbis, the acceptance of Reform and conservative conversions to Judaism, the rights of women, the fights against racism throughout the country. Most of these advancements came, in the end, through a ruling of the Supreme Court of Israel. Disgusted with these changes to society led by the Supreme Court, the leadership of the ultra-Orthodox parties in Israel have acted. Seizing on the weak parliamentary majority in the Knesset, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has embraced their narrow vision and set in motion massive changes in Israeli law. Earlier today, Cantor Pincus and I met with Rabbi Gilad Kariv, the first Reform rabbi to serve in the Israeli parliament, and Orly Erez Lishkovitsky, the director of IRAC. They shared passionately how this is a true critical moment for the core values of Israel. The proposed changes will remove most of the power of the Supreme Court and allow a simple majority in the Knesset to pass basic constitutional law in Israel. There would be no checks and balances. Human rights, civil rights, minority rights, none of these would be protected under the proposed legislation. Rabbi Kariv noted that these massive changes in Israeli government and life are being raced through with a goal of having them done in less than 2 months before Pesach. There is no interest in compromise. A recent proposal by Israeli President Isaac Herzog was immediately rejected without any discussion. Remember, the president in Israel is more of a figurehead position. The job has no veto over law or any true legal power. It is always of concern when someone tells you something is of vital importance and that they know best and they have no interest in review, discussion, compromise, transparency, or seeking the will of the people. It turns out the Israeli people aren't too thrilled with the demolishing of protections of minority groups. Orly Lukovsky told us that 500,000 Israelis came out in protest last week. To put that in perspective, that's 10% of the Israeli population, or if 33 million Americans came out in protest on something. While the Netanyahu government won a small majority in their coalition, many of his own voters are opposed to such sweeping changes to the democratic system of Israel. Speaking before 160,000 protesters in Tel Aviv last week, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, the president of the Union for Reform Judaism, said, "The Israel we love is Jewish and democratic. We can't imagine a Jewish state that isn't democratic, but unfortunately there are those who can. We're deeply concerned about proposed changes to Israel's democracy. With only 61 votes in the Knesset, it could override the rights of millions, such as the LGBTQ community, women, Palestinian citizens of Israel, and Reform and conservative Jews." He continued, "We know how precarious it can be to live as a minority, but we also know that our concepts of equal rights for all, our rule of law, our independent courts, our democracy is what protects us." Israelis are acting in unprecedented numbers to an unprecedented attack of its freedoms. As we know from American protests in our history, such reaction creates new coalitions and brings energy to the cause. We need to support and add our voices to the fight for democracy. Learn more about these issues and share your thoughts, perhaps over your Passover Seder. It is a continued fight for freedom. Support the Israeli Religious Action Center at IRAC.org as they gain monetary and human strength to continue to protect minority groups throughout the state of Israel. Threats to Israel's democracy threaten people throughout the country, the region, and impact us as Jews in the United States for our Jewish home. Does it get better? I believe it does. Here in the United States, across the Atlantic in the Jewish homeland, and throughout the world, things get better, but only when we gather together, speak out, and work to make a difference. A Prayer for Democracy by Rabbi Oded Mazor. God of our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Rachel, and Leah, bless those who stand in defense of democracy, equality, and peace. From among our people and those all over the world who work to repair society in the face of the threat to the justice system and the rule of law. May the Holy One protect them and save them from all troubles and distress and from every plague and illness, from all harassment and injury, and any attempt to humiliate them and undermine their commitment. In the fight against indifference, inaction, and non-involvement, may their efforts be successful, and may they have a good eye to see wrongs done, a good heart so as not to stand idly by, and the strength to act to protect the rights of all, to do justice and bring peace to every person made in the image of God in the world. And let us say, Amen. a prayer for Israel.
Avinu, Avinu, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. ברך, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו. הגן עליה בעברת חסדך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם עצה טובה מלפניך, ותקנם עצה טובה מלפניך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו.
One way we see it gets better is when we draw on the strength of each other's blessings. So we take time to share the simcha as the good things that are happening in each of our lives. Something good has happened to you in recent days or is just up ahead. We invite you to raise your hand as I come over to the mic. Tell us your name and what good thing is happening in your life. I'm going to start on this side of the sanctuary, so this side start thinking.
I got a good report from my abdominal test and my breast exam. Good.
My bat mitzvah's tomorrow.
My niece's bat mitzvah is tomorrow.
My granddaughter's bat mitzvah's tomorrow.
My niece's bat mitzvah's tomorrow.
My granddaughter as well.
We're having a lot of mitzvah tomorrow, it seems.
Pauline, I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, but it's wonderful coming home again.
I came here.
I'm Gwen Leifer, and tonight is the 20th anniversary of when I met my husband. I just embarrassed him.
Hi, I'm Aaron. It's 20th anniversary of my grandfather. I want to say Mazel Tov to Noah for her bat mitzvah tomorrow, and the reason that I messed up on the Elise was because I haven't done them in a while.
My name is Leah, and I got in a back with an old friend that was special to me.
Hi, I'm Phyllis. I went to the theater last night and saw Anne Juliet, and it was really cute.
No, sorry.
My name's Ella, and my cousin's bat mitzvah is tomorrow.
Amy and I went to see Black Odyssey last night in celebration of my birthday.
My name is Yazik. My cousin's bat mitzvah is tomorrow, and I'm in New York.
My best friend's bat mitzvah is tomorrow.
Well, it's wonderful to have simchas and joys to share with each other. And we look forward to sharing them each week and drawing strength from each other and finding the good things that it will get better for all of us. We turn now to the concluding blessings of our service, beginning with the Aleinu in the middle of page 586. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Part of the blessings of looking forward is looking at the blessings that have come before us. Family and friends who have passed from this earth and body, but whose love and light still fills our world. This week we note the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of Rosalie Albin, Harold Band, Manus Berger, Jacob Brownstein, Robert Kagan, Alvin Callow, Barnett Cohen, Janet Cohen, Joseph Daniel, Robert Daniel, Gertrude Deichmann, Sam Dickstein, Rhoda Eisenberg, Louis M. Elkind, Leonie Fagel, Samuel Fettner, Arlene J. Garrick, Myron Gelberg, Judith Gilbard, Muriel Glazer, Louis Goldman, Lee Goldstein, Fanny Guggenheim, Jesse Hartmeyer, Lance Jonathan Kamen, Louis Katz, Irene Klein, Joseph Corson, Joseph Kreisman, Charles M. Lair, Myrna B. Lerner, Eleanor Levinson, Jeanette Levy, Mandy Moscovici, Cynthia Nagel, Beatrice Narker, Philip Needleman, Samuel W. Olin, Corporal Philip H. Osterling, Mary Petrone, Barry George Pincus, Selma Pocker, Regina Polakar, Pauline Rabin, Alvin Rosas, Dora Rosen, Isidore Rosofsky, David Schrage, David Siegel, Philip Skloot, Erwin Tarr, Demetria Torres, Charles Warman. We note in sadness the recent passing and laying to rest of Marcia Shore, sister of Stephen Reichstein and sister-in-law of Marilyn Reichstein. If you are observing a loss, particularly want to remember at this time, we invite you to share the name out loud in our congregation or add it to the chat on our live stream. For all those we hold close to our heart, our Mourner's Cottage, page 598, is one community we share in these words. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, be'alma devra chorutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarak le'olam almei almaya, yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha berechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbekata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'yamru amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yamru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yamru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to every broken heart. And let us say,
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yimeru amen.
Amen. Please be seated. With some greetings to our congregation, we invite up our temple president, Seth Diamond.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi and Cantor, for leading us in the final service of this winter season, and thank you for having us brought warmth throughout, and thank you to our musicians who bring us great music in every season. Mazel Tov to Noah and her parents, Michael and Alana, on the occasion of Noah's bat mitzvah, and thank you to the Spivak family for sponsoring tonight's Oneg. Thank you also to Scott Scheidlauer, who is also sponsoring the Oneg in celebration of his birthday. This Sunday at 1, we have an exciting event at Temple sponsored by the Adult Education and Social Action Committees and the Immigration Task Force in WOCO. We will be screening Split at the Root, a new Netflix movie that is the story of Julie Schweitzer-Collazo, a Queens mom who formed immigrant families together to protest the border family separation policy. The movie is a New York Times Critics' Pick, and as a special treat, Ms. Schweitzer-Collazo will be joining us at the screening, as will Juana's family. It is a movie screening, but I don't think there'll be a red carpet, but I am told that movie snacks will be available. Details on how to register are in the e-blast. And hard to believe, and maybe you don't want to believe, but the first Seder is less than 3 weeks away. And following the first Seder, we will have our always wonderful annual community Seder here at the Temple on Thursday, April 6th. If you would like to attend, you need to register by April 1st, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. And finally, as I mentioned, winter is about to close and spring arrives next week. Despite the snow we had earlier this week, it has been a mild winter, Wild one maybe in other ways too, but a mild winter, but we still welcome spring's coming. Margaret Renkel in the New York Times offered some thoughts on the season's arrival, even while expressing concern about the mild winter that was. Ms. Renkel writes, "I worry that winter will become roaring back to blast all those flowers and all those baby birds. I worry most that careless human beings continue to be so careless and that profit-mad corporations continue to be so mad. But I also can't help delighting in these tiny flowers reaching for the sun, and I make no effort to beat back my pleasure in this season of beginnings. I surrender to the thrumming promise in the springtime air. The birds sing, and God help me sing too. May we all sing loudly and joyously as we enter the season ahead." Shabbat Shalom.
As we prepare for tonight's oneg, as we offer together the motzi, a note that tonight's oneg will be held in the lobby, not in the ballroom, so we'll be a little tight together, but we'll make new friends. And to help us do the motzi, I want to invite up anybody who is not yet become a bar or bat mitzvah age, including Noah, her last opportunity to do so. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Te'avon, bon appetit. And we are going to close with Adon Olam, which is on page 625. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'inasha v'chefetzo kol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiklot hakol levaydo yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמזרע. והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. אדון לעולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. בידו הפקיד רוחי והייתי שן והעירה ועם רוחי גוויעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום ומבורך. שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום ומבורך. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.